Hello, everyone. My name is Princiya. I'm the Leadership Fellow for Women Who Code Front End Track based in Berlin. And today I'm here with Elisabeth Kurek, who is an American cloud leader and diversity advocate living in Germany with 15 plus years of experience in the cloud industry. Elisabeth is currently the VP of Cloud Marketing at Ionos, leading campaign marketing, technical marketing, and the website management teams for all Ionos cloud products worldwide. Thank you so much, Elisabeth, for being with us today. Tell us more about your career journey and tell us about your role as the VP of Cloud Marketing at Ionos.
Yeah, thank you, Princiya, so much for having me here today. It's really an honor to be able to speak to so many talented women at Women Who Code. So thank you for that. About my career and how I got into the cloud. I actually didn't take a typical career path. So I have not studied marketing, secret, and I haven't studied any sort of coding. So I actually got started in tech in 2006 when a company, 1&1, a German company, was hiring in the US for their marketing team. And at the time, they hired me because of my German language skills. So I do speak German, and they were looking for someone who could work with the website management team in Germany. So with my role as a web editor at 1&1, I started out working in HTML. So at some point, I made the decision to move into a marketing management role rather than continue down more of a developer path. But that doesn't mean that I stopped learning in terms of my technical knowledge. So in my daily work, I'm not developing, but I am leveraging marketing tools. And this is something, on the one hand, within marketing, I take upon myself to self-educate, to be open and continue to learning new tools. But this also means on the product side that in cloud, especially, I have to date, right? So this is important in this field. So it doesn't mean that I need to know every single tech trend and tool in detail, but to be aware of what the trends are and that they exist. Now, looking into what I do at Ionos today, I really have a mix of everything. So I'm responsible for cloud marketing. That means if it has cloud in it, I'm responsible. So that can be, for example, our campaign management, content marketing, online marketing, partner marketing is a very big element of what we do, what I'm responsible for. So ensuring that overall Ionos, that the marketing, the messaging and positioning is accurate, and that also we're growing, right? So this is part of what I do every day. I could also add, as part of that, of course, is managing a team. So I have at the moment both employees direct in the Berlin office where I'm based, but also internationally as well. So managing both directly a team and then also remote team members.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really great. And yeah, thank you for telling a bit more about your career journey and your current role as the at Ionos. Yeah, so what technical skills do you use specifically, like, for this job? Yeah, at some point you said you started with HTML and then it went about like marketing, and with the cloud industry, as you said, needs to be updated in tech. So tell us a bit about the technical skills that you use specifically, like on a day-to-day business or the job.
Yeah, sure. I have to first and foremost say, since this is a Women Who Code interview, those who are actually coding have my utmost respect. Yeah. So the coding world and all of you every day who are actually coding. So kudos, shout out, really my respect. While I am not directly coding in my daily work, we do use technical tools in marketing. So currently, for example, we are using Salesforce.com. So this is a way to track our marketing performance and also see customer insights. We also leverage Pardot or HubSpot as two additional tools in terms of email marketing, but also lead generation, so technical tools behind that. In the past, I've also dabbled in Marketo very briefly at my time at AWS, where I quickly learned, okay, I wasn't ready for the advanced level, and also that I should leave that to the experts at this point in my career, and also a bit of Tableau as well. We have various technical tools that are leveraged in marketing in my current role every day.
Awesome. That's really, really impressive. Yeah, so for folks listening, prior to Ionos, Elisabeth also led partner marketing for the DACH region at AWS, driving her region to the #1 partner marketing pipeline in EMEA. Yeah, so that's a very impressive career journey, Elisabeth, that you've got. You're also a diversity advocate at Ionos. So how did you get into DEI and what does it look like?
Yeah, so how I got into D&I, I would say actually I was born with it, born this way, if I may say. I truly was. So the story that I tell is one of my first experiences as a child, actually. I was a very girly girl, right? So I had my Barbie dream house, everything in pink. I redid my bedroom 3 times, all 3 times in pink. But I also am the only daughter in my family and the only granddaughter. So I have 2 brothers and I have 6 boy cousins. So I was also very much like playing outside, A-team and making forts, so all of that. But I remember that when I was in Toys R Us, I wanted to look for Legos because I really like Legos. And I remember my mom standing at the other end of the aisle at Toys R Us, and myself turning around and saying, "Mom, why don't they make Legos for girls?" And for me at the time, it was, okay, I was a very girly girl and I was looking for, okay, we've got knights or pirates. It was always the same 2 options, but there was no, there wasn't a princess or a house or all of these things. And now I'm not saying, of course, that all women and all girls are girly girls. Of course, each person is unique, but for myself, who enjoyed playing with those types of toys, I was looking for that, right? So it already started at a young age. And when I moved into a technical role, I noticed it even more so. So at the time, we're talking 2006, so there were not very many women in tech at all. I remember the first hosting conference I went to at the time. I looked around, it was in DC, and there was only one other woman in the entire tech event who wasn't hired as entertainment. Actually, her name is Allison Heather, and we're still friends to this day and are part of each other's network. But realizing, okay, something has to be done here, right? And unofficially, I had started with kind of just some of the women in our office. We would meet up regularly once a week to kind of have a sounding board for one another, but also tips. And always thought, okay, this needs to be something bigger, right? A network to build, to change things. And I hit a milestone birthday in 2015. I won't say which milestone that was. You can figure that out. But at that point, I thought, okay, no, Elisabeth, you've been talking about it. You've seen the problem. Take action, right? So at that point, I actually reached out to the I2 Coalition, so the Internet Infrastructure Coalition. So it's a community of, as the name implies, internet infrastructure providers, so data centers, hosting companies, cloud companies. So there are members like Google and Rackspace and GoDaddy and Web.com. And really, rather than starting something as one person, leveraging the community together. And so I approached the I2 Coalition, met the chairman at an event, asked him to meet for a short meeting to discuss the topic. And then he had said, okay, sounds good. We'll invite you to the next meeting to present your idea. So, and I still remember when I was invited, you have to remember too, a lot of what the coalition does is around policy, right? So there were lawyers on the call and security experts, and I didn't understand, I would say like 80% of the call, to be honest. And then they said, okay, here's Elisabeth now who will present this idea. And I just did. I went for it, and then they invited me back for the second round to approve, and the working group actually got approved and established. So that was kind of my start into it, into the topic. Over the years, it's evolved further. So I was very active, of course, in the coalition and in volunteer roles in the United States, and now being based in Germany, you know, I was active in the European coalition. There's the EcoForbund, which is a wonderful organization here based in Europe, again, of internet infrastructure providers. And then at my time at AWS, of course, various initiatives there. And now at Ionos, I'm an advocate, continue to do that both within the Ionos world, but also just yeah, as a volunteer advocate, right? So if I'm able to, and there's an opportunity where I'm able to contribute, I welcome that.
Awesome. That's really impressive. And yeah, Elisabeth, you're like truly a champion for diversity in the tech industry. And yeah, thanks for like, working closely with these initiatives. So we want more leaders like you. Tell us a bit more about your leadership style. What is it? And what is it like for colleagues to work with you?
Yeah, I'm smiling because I wonder if you ask my department what they would what they would say to that. So I can say I 100% adhere to the Steve Jobs quote, which is that I don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. I hire smart people so that they tell me what to do. And I 100% adhere to that motto. I would say in terms of the team and the leadership style, what this means is I try to have an open approach as much as possible. I want to create an environment where my team is comfortable coming to me to make suggestions, to have their own ideas, to share that. And on the other hand, I also strive for transparency as much as possible. So that's really important to me that, okay, there are some things that you're not able to share, right? But as much as possible, and where it's, permitted within the guidelines, right, that you're able to communicate that, to be honest with the team as much as possible, even if that means admitting that things are not perfect or there's a mistake. For me, the transparent approach is the best way. Oh, and if I may say too, while I smiled about the team, so that's kind of the management style. The other thing I would say for those of you who have worked with me, or the team that worked with me, there would be, you could say, a little bit of crazy, or I would say a little bit of creativity to give it a professional way. So I love also having an environment where people are free to give ideas, and even if it's something that's totally out there with an idea, I love it to bring that in and to think in an innovative way, in a creative way.
Awesome. Yeah. I think it's also important as leaders to be able to be our authentic selves, so that, yeah, we can let others do what they want to do. I'm just like dropping off from a strength finder session from work. And yeah, it was great as well as a team to figure out where we are in strengths, or what are the things that we bring. So yeah, definitely. I'm really glad that you shared. What is it like for you to be your true self leader? So thank you,
Yeah.
Elisabeth.
Yeah, love that, Princiya. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Yeah, I think irrespective of tech, when it comes to leadership positions itself, women keep getting, women are seen in lesser numbers. So have you had any instances where you can share maybe that you have used your leadership privilege in terms of mentorship and or sponsorship to maybe other women or maybe non-women?
Yeah, sure. Yes. So absolutely. And when we think about diversity and inclusion, there are many factors that come into play. So you have on the one hand, okay, corporate factors and corporate policy. There are also the societal factors, right? Internal and external, micro and macro. So when looking at this, I think regardless of one's position, there are always things that you can do to drive change, even if it's something small. So in the past, where I didn't have, a big budget or a large team, I tried to on the micro level to change things. So, for example, I remember one conference that I attended, and looking around, there was one woman in the room participating who was not white, and I noticed she was sitting by herself, and I thought, okay, let me just go over and sit next to her. And I just said, hi, I'm Elisabeth, and I'm happy that you're here, and like, tell me about yourself, right? So just on the micro level to show a gesture that's, an inclusive gesture, right? And now in my role as a VP at Ionos, I actually have a position of privilege where I'm able to influence things on a larger level. So one example I can give is that we recently produced a partner video, so a video at our company, customer facing. And at the end of the video, I realized, oh, we don't have a single woman in that video. And it also was, I know it would be a bit painful because the teams had to go back and edit it. And it was a moment where I felt like, oh, do I really want to like drive this point home? And I realized, no, Elisabeth, privileged position, you can change it, you have to do it, even if it's extra work. And so there are examples now in my daily work where I am privileged and I do have the opportunity to influence and change things. I try to, as best as I can, to keep this in mind, of course, but yes, that is, I think, regardless of one's role, everyone can make a difference with small things every day.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so well said. And yeah, thank you, for doing this or being able to do this. So that's like really appreciated. Yeah, you mentioned about being able to work with your team, let them bring their creative self. So what else are you passionate about, apart from work? So tell us a bit about what else do we see Elisabeth Kurek doing when she's not working?
Yeah, sure. So one of my passions is very difficult at the moment, which is travel, right? So travel, and also in combination with food. So I am a total foodie. I also, not unrelated to my diversity passion, also love enjoying trying new foods, from different cultural backgrounds, different types of foods, and also traveling to experience that. I've also had the opportunity throughout the years to meet friends in different locations across the world through work, through studies, and to try to maintain them. So I really enjoy visiting them. It's again been challenging with Corona, but that's something that we hope will be behind us soon, or at least manageable to be able to pick that back up again.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, for folks listening, Elisabeth and I discovered just before we started the interview that we both are from Berlin and we plan to meet sometime. And yes, we should definitely catch up for food. I am a total foodie too, love exploring different places to try out food. So yeah, let's definitely meet.
Yes, absolutely, Princiya. This is an added bonus. I was unaware of that fact before this interview, but would love to. And I am always open to trying new restaurants. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. What pro tip do you have for aspiring next gen of directors or VPs?
So a tip, Princiya? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I would say the tip has 2 words. So network and negotiate, and they both start with N. So the double N, easy to remember. And by networking, what I can say is that every event you go to, every meeting that you have, even if it's someone senior to you in the hierarchy, connect with that person. So it's an ongoing effort, and especially I notice, at events, sometimes you get done with the event, you're like, oh yeah, do I want to reach out, follow up, with everyone? So first of all, you can do it on site, but if you don't have the opportunity, really afterwards, within 24 to 48 hours, write a short, LinkedIn request and just say, hi, it was a pleasure meeting you. Let's stay in touch. So I can say for myself that has 100% supported my career to get me to where I am today, the network. And the network includes all levels and diverse backgrounds, both male and female are important. I have to say all genders included. So this is really important. So the networking. And the second part is negotiating. And this is something that, since we're talking to a Women Who Code audience today, oftentimes is not the case where, women for a number of reasons may not feel as comfortable negotiating or really knowing their value, right, to put out there, which I won't get into the reasons. But there's a wonderful woman in my network, Reese Bradby, who runs Women in Negotiation. So she's leading workshops on this as well. So here, she's based over in Europe, but international workshops, and this is critical. So really to understand, where you want to go, to know the value of what you're worth, right, and not be afraid to ask for it, right. So if you are at the point where a company is ready to make you an offer, they're not going to, withdraw the offer just because, you're asking for too much, right? So and if they come to their limit, they'll tell you that, but always negotiate, go for the maximum. I would say, as an American, get your money, but in a professional way, know your worth and negotiate for it. Don't settle.
Awesome. That's so wonderful. And yes, both networking and negotiation, like you said, does come. You have to come out of your comfort zone to be able to do this. So which also like takes a bit of practice and yeah, I guess a little bit of experience as well. But yeah, I love the correlation or the connection with the two ends, network and negotiation. So love that. And thanks for sharing it so much, Elisabeth. Yeah, I'm done with my set of questions, and we survived with Berlin Wi-Fi issues. we we did get disconnected. Yeah, thank you so much, Elisabeth, for being able to join with us today, and thank you, Ionos and Women Who Code, for setting this opportunity to learn a bit more about Elisabeth, about what she does, and about what advices she has to offer.
Thank you, Princiya. It was an honor to be with you and the Women Who Code community today. Thank you very much.